Dignity comes from within. His contribution and legacy should remind us all that what we have now was created by such personal dignity. He didn't know it at the time, but it was the only example of him ever existing. Even during their time, before they were even called Buffalo Soldiers, their service was always met with scorn. Resistance from white soldiers who were becoming officers or were officers that did not want to lead them. And an American public that really commended them for their sacrifice, but did not want to accept them in terms of equality. It's a wealth of information and knowledge, but it's also one that is, I would say, overshadowed by their status as former slaves. You can kind of see a lack of knowledge happening because no one wanted to talk about them, or when they did talk about them, they ridiculed them. And consequently, in the present, there's just not that much interest in them. And when we did start learning about them, they were in the movies. We didn't learn about their contribution because we didn't know that they were contributors to the Spanish-American Wars, World War I, and World War II. They trained the soldiers of those times. They also, in many cases, were not allowed to talk about their past. And that's something I think in American military history, it's a new frontier for research and investigation. There is very little about Mr. Jordan and his childhood, and all we do know is that his childhood was hard. This means life started from sunup to sundown. Even after that, it was still worth it to enlist because it was a better life than what they were used to. So the Battle of Canyon Carrizo can be seen as a rescue. This is where the 10th had really been in a battle against Nana, who was one of the other Chiricahua chiefs. One thing to know about the Apache, they don't just stand in regimented lines and engage you in battle. They come at you in waves. So they'll come in, give you a volley, like 40 men at a time, give you a volley, and weaken you. Mr. Jordan double times. He actually is able to hold off these attacking waves of Apache to allow for the 10th to retreat. That has gone down in the annals of US history as, for me, as one of the most unrecognized successful savings of military comrades ever. And the same can be said at Fort Tularosa. So the Battle of Fort Tularosa really can be thought of as, in many cases, the saving of Tularosa. Again, this is where Victorio, as well as Nana, these chiefs are not just in the area because they want to be. They really have the goal, especially Victorio, of saving his family's land and what they know. But one of the exciting things about this battle, especially for the 9th, is that they are there when the attack happens. And so you actually have, in few words we have remaining from Jordan, he says, I was in conversation with people, and then they attacked. But what we do know is when that attack happened, this individual with his regiment was able to hold off this volley until help arrived. He did not lose one single man. And in that town, he was able to save pretty much everyone there that had been within his protection. And I think that's why his recognition was so high. The Apache that are attacking are not just doing it out of spite. They're doing it with a purpose of survival and self-preservation as they know it. And so when we put the two together, I think it gives us a picture of the formation of the West that really forces us to reconcile with the human attitude and behavior that these battles represent. Jordan's decline can be seen as a direct precipitate of his heroic action, but also the toll it takes on a person. I think after his death, the recognition of the Buffalo Soldiers became real. To rethink who we are and become something better afterwards. And I think we can all learn how to make this country better just from hearing his story and asking ourselves one question. What can you give? What will you give?